We provide you a platform for open dialogue and intellectual exchange. We encourage listeners to think critically, challenge their perspectives, and explore different viewpoints on various subjects by fostering a respectful and inclusive environment. The Afternoon Conversation on Love FM 105.1 and Love TV Live from Monday through Friday, 2 to 3:30 p.m. Don't miss out.
A blessed way to say good afternoon and welcome to another fascinating time of discussion right here on your favorite dial, Love Radio 105.1. And I'm your afternoon conversational friend. The name is Rufus Divine Cannon, the one who leads and all to follow. First among equals, of course, I'm destined for greatness. Too many things to talk about. And as we go through this festive season, we urge that you relieve your minds of the stress of the political terrain and just have a deep intake of your breath and exhale, inhale, exhale, and inhale. And now you take a moment to just reflect on the year in review, 2025. We know it has been one of the troubling times in our lives, so to speak, regarding statistics. It has shown that 2025 have carried a lot of lives. Yes, 2025 was almost like a leap year, taking away lots of lives in so many forms and minor. But we all are privileged, who are privileged to be alive and actually counted amongst the living. We need to thank God for who He is, what He has done, and continue to do for us. Because when you recount the many challenges, the things that you've been through, some of you still go through, but yet still you are alive. Others weren't going through what you are going through. They had all of the needs, but the cold hands of death took them away. You're not better than those that are dead and gone. But by God's special grace, you are counted amongst the living. It's a plus, something to appreciate God for. So showing gratitude is one of the things that you can do. He don't need your money. All He need is thanks, because He said in His word, be it good or bad, we should give Him thanks. Because when praises go up, blessings are bound to come down. So this afternoon, we're going to play you a few clips, and start to talk on those things that we have designed as a point of discussion for this afternoon. Like we told you, there's a new company on the internet and it's in the country. We kind of skeptical of their operations. So we're urging them to actually make known, because mind you, the people say when actually, what do you call it? When snake bite you, even laser passing, you get afraid. So we know of QNet. QNet have robbed our people. We know of some of these traveling opportunities that have come, and we have gotten so many testimonies that, come on, even family members are encouraging their family members to get engaged with this, and at the end of the day, they are being robbed. Some lives are being taken, but we actually need to keep our people informed. So we are not branding this institution as such, but we only want our people to be cautious enough and do more findings on the ARX breeding. Say ARX, they are called ARX breeding. So they are on the internet, they got their offices and all the kind of stuff in country. They have not launched officially yet, but they are carrying on an operation on the internet. People are encouraging others to get engaged with this process. So it's a good thing, but in other words, you also need to be sensitive. The Bible says we should walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because redeeming the time, the days are evil. The guys are very crafty, and some of you don't understand. Liberia is a virgin land when it comes to all of these things, especially when it comes to technology. A lot of our people are not technology wise, and so they be carried away by some of these things that they see on the internet. People getting engaged with financial based on the economic situation in our country, I always say to people, we are not there 100%, but guess what? We are now where we used to be. Gradually, things are getting into place. And interestingly, I always say to you, when the minds are developed, the eyes going to appreciate the works of the hands. So we need to engage the minds constructively so that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because redeeming the time, the days are evil. As we continue to go through this festive season, our encouragement to you, security wise, you have to be vigilant. There are a lot of scammers around here. Guys can scheme. Yes, you know about them. Yes, just the other day, a lady was actually, she did her own video though. She was engaged with a guy in a conversation. And mind you, he even mentioned my boss name. He said he was the one. He was going to link the lady up with Mr. Yue, and the people need that noise and other kind of stuff. So I'm like, wow, what is quite interesting, but you need to be sensitive enough. The guys are very crafty, and most of them they sit in these praising compounds and be based on the technology, high IQ. They create these kind of apps. They create these kinds of means so that they rob you of. And mind you, some of you who are social media freak, every link you want to click on it, and you see some of these gifts. Oh, Orange is giving this gift. That bonus, just click on it, and the more you share, and this one, mind you, for those of you who are not technology wise, when you click on this link, there's something your IP code. The IP code is the nuclear of that device that you're using. So they get connected to it, they grab it and start to work within your system. And when they hack your account, the next thing they change all of the codings, and they start to send people numbers, start to send requests from people. And people who are already connected to you, they know that you are secure with your phone. They think that it was you who have requested ransom and kind of stuff. The guys know when they request huge amount of money, it will raise an eyebrow and they will not get their energetic met. So nowadays they're calling for small money and small thing, and so your mind will not go there. But mind you, if you know somebody like that, a friend. That's why not everyone you have conversation with or mingle with is a friend. Yes, this is where a lot of you miss out on. Not everybody is your friend. You have acquaintances. A friend is somebody who knows you in and out. A person who, when you going wrong, look you in the face and say, "Look, bro, you have screwed up. You need to right your wrong. You need to do this, and this is not something that we actually showcase that good nature of yours. So you need to change. Yeah." And you too, in the same vein, you do the same to the person. Even in your absence, that person can vouch for you. Yes, that is a friend. That's somebody when you're around is, oh yeah, that's my friend, my palio. Then at your back, they say the worst thing about you. That is not a friend. So you know the differences between, we just use the word friendship. We know we should have acquaintances. The Bible tells us we should love our neighbors as ourselves, right? But with that instruction, love your neighbors as yourself, the Bible did not demand us to make everyone our friend. Not everyone we come in contact with will make them our friend. You know why? Because people that you bring in your space can serve in capacities. What are they? You bring somebody in your space who is not of good character, they serve as distraction. And somebody who's good, wanting to see the best, wanting to see you grow, that person can elevate you. That's why the Bible also tells us that iron sharpens iron, so is the word of God. So the more you in the range of people who think positive. I gave you a classical story. Let me just share mine with you, then we get to the meat of this discussion. When I was coming up in this profession, journalism, my elder sister, I know she's listening. She was kind of afraid, the kind of thing that the people doing this time, they getting people cheering, they using people cheering, all because of opportunities that the gates stuff were getting so high. But then I was there in high school. She was like, "You gotta be careful, Rufus." And now the only profession can say, Sophia, I know what I want in life. Though I may not be showing you, the kind of things that you need to know or the things that I do, but I have the mind. And based on our upbringing, that's what I always say. The parents play a pivotal role in the upbringing of their children. So if you allow the child as a parent to have the way, and when you see that child growing up, so eager for people things, when you see people things crying for it, you beat it out of him or beat it out of her, because when they get used to that child, he or she will grow up. That's why my late professor Bumiyasi Dwako, when we were at the University of Liberia, used to say to us, the thing you can say, charity beginning at home and end abroad is wrong. It's chastity, to chastise somebody. Chastity, to chastise. Chastity begins at home and ends abroad. So when you chastise that person at home, that level of moral value they have built from the chastise process they went through, they will carry ulcer. That's why our late mother used to say to us, don't be too eager for people to. You know why? Because the guy who spent this thing, he knows what to put there. So these are moral values. These are things that we grow up on the daily basis hearing. So it became a part of us. It is now a part of us. So when I see some of our friends, sit on radio and using profanity and insulting elderly people, I kind of wonder, what is your upbringing? Because, mind you, as an individual, you are a direct representation of yourself, the family, the church or religion body you are part of, and the society. The society has a lot. So that's why we always call on our religious institutions, our academic institutions, to play that pivotal role in bringing up a citizen. Yes. My late mother used to say, you can born a child, but you can't born a heart. It takes a woman to bring forth a child, but it takes everyone to bring up that child in the rightful way. Yes. So if that child is not brought up in a proper way, what's going to happen? Instead of you chastising that person to grow up to be that good citizen, you allow all of those little things in the home, the child slapping your mother. Oh, little part of small bar, causing baby people. Oh, little part man, a small bar. That child sees it as a means that when I do it, nobody can tell. So let me continue. Then he takes it out. So if that child was slapping your face in the house, you say that small bar. When you go in the open, he start to slap your face. Little boy, I know. You jump up here. Right there, he had made you shame. Then people around, conscious-minded people will say, but you're starting the thing from the house. So that why he has everything out here. So whatever you see a child get involved with that is not right, chastise that child. The Bible says, if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So if you parent, you start to allow all of these guys, leader boy, man, that's my boy, you know why you're doing a lot. The children are very daring. They test your ability. So when they try you for the first time, no complaint. The second time, the third one, it become a habit. Even you find people that are smoking today, drinking today, it did not start on a high scale. It started small. From half glass to full glass, from full glass to bottle, from bottle, they go on bottles. From bottles, they are now in crates. Oh, yes. These are things, it starts from small. So if you are not careful, you're mingling up with people who are not of good morals. You're mingling up with people who, well, every time you're around them, they're always talking negative things. What's going to happen to you? Your mindset will develop in that form and manner. So in order to grow, you must get yourself align with people of like minds, people who have high IQs, people who think positive, people who think outside of the box to create the avenue to develop themselves and look, in a positive direction. But you have somebody, you wake up in the morning, or they tell you that crazy thing. Even in relationship, you get somebody who's not thinking about tomorrow. Everything you get it today, you put everything in the pot. Be careful. That person is only doing that when you do not have it. They will have the means to go to a different place where they can get it done. And at the end of the day, you become victim of the circumstances. Some of us, we became victim because our minds were not focused on these things. We felt, oh man, come on, come what may. And we've learned our lesson. That's why I always say to people, life, it gave you a test before giving you the lesson. You will be tested before you learn the lesson. Like you go to school, they will teach you the lesson before they get you test. No, that's not life. The journey of life, you will be tested before you learn your lesson. So we have learned our lesson after the tests we've taken, and we learned it so well. So we are very cognizant in how to carry ourselves. With that being said, so we are all around. Now we are here where we are now. And sometimes when I see my sister, she said, hey, my brother there, she feel proud because I upheld the moral values, the trainings that we got from them, our parents, and the discipline. We did not follow the crowd or wanting to be the big boss around here and getting ourselves involved into unorthodox things. So we grew up, we became so patient-minded, and we are where we are today, not because we are smart, not because we are handsome, or we have that rich family background. No. God first. We were persistent, we were consistent, being prayerful, and focusing on God's own plan and purpose. When you want to grow up in life, align your plans and purpose with God's plan and purpose. Yes. If you think that you can do it on your own because you're smart, who told you? The Bible says, in all of your getting, get wisdom. There are people with PhDs, there are people with masters and all kind of degrees around here. They are all paper, but they lack wisdom. That's why you see them do unorthodox things. They go so petty when it comes to politics. They talk gibberish, and they feel that they are propounding. They're not doing anything for themselves because you don't learn something from them. Something that will transform the society. They look at it from a trivial point of view. Then our person, he said, a book person, he lacks wisdom. And one who lacks wisdom is a fool. Yeah. So, seeing us today to where we are, we're not where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. And based on persistency, consistency, with the help of God, we are moving there. I always say to people, my favorite passage in the Bible is Isaiah 60, verse 22. When the time is right, our God will make it happen. I don't necessarily have to engage myself with the things that are at hand to be among the boys in the town. That's why I always made this analogy. During the time of the introduction of cell phone into our society, there were people who had the 3310, or the biggest phone. You got 3310 during that time, the 3310, you big boy, big girl. Oh, yes. During that time, where SIM card was $65. The people who were handling those phones were the bourgeois, the BB people who could afford. You must have never knew about cell phone. You are on your collector, you go to telecom. Yeah, you want to talk to your auntie in America or somewhere, you go for your collector. The next day you come back, the person left message for you. First message, you listen to it, then you... So the boys and girls the men and women that were using the phones, they were the top-notch people in the society. But now, see how far we've come. That dispensation have wear out. Bring the thing to the 310 that people were craving here for. Put it down. And you bring the iPhone 17 or the iPhone 17 Pro Max that people craving for. Put all two down. Which one you will go after? Such a time, such a condition. So when you look at these things, so you don't crave for things when it is not in your reach, because You don't know. There are people you see all behind it cleaning. They want to be among the numbers. Life that time. Like the Floxy said, life like just time, that time. Wait on your time, my friend. You want to wear the best of clothes. You want to wear the best of shoes. You want to wear the best of car, drive the best of car. You want to be among the top-notch people. Oh, yeah, the best journalists. You want to be, come on. What are you doing towards that? So the only means you can get is to do some orthodox thing. You cause BP people so that you get attracted, or you get an attraction that you need, then they call you B-boy around here. No. It's just for a season. So when you wait on your time, in your time, when the time is right, even people who deny you the opportunity when you need it the most, they will reckon with you. They have that spirit. They will crave for you. They want to identify with you. That's what I always say to people. Success attracts a lot of negative people. Some of us, when we were at our journey, there were a lot of criticism we had. You can't make it. You. But we did not listen to all those things. We kept focused. God first. Now we are where we are. The same people who used to criticize us and say the worst thing about us, and now they are the ones now, they feel proud to know us. They feel proud to be associated with us. That's what success does. It attracts a lot of negative people, fake people, by the way. Some of you, a classical example, some of you were in government, you have opportunities. When you go to places with car, you don't cut the car off, the car engine beating 24/7 until you leave that place. The engine is beating. Today, you don't have a fitting car. The government car has been taken away from you. You go to places, you trek like the ordinary people. You did not maximize the time and opportunity you had. You are all around the place doing unorthodox things. You feel that the time will not come. And you fail to understand that people, before you could become who you are, there were people already there. And these people left the scene, and now you took over. And there will be people who will take over from you. That's how life is. It's a visual cycle. So you must walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, because redeeming the time, the days are evil. Kevin, how you doing? So we must be sensitive enough. So if you think that because, that's why I always say to you're the politician there, right? Oh, our time. This is our time. Come on, my friend. If you don't maximize your time, you will fall prey to any other thing. Time and chance happiness to all. Time and chance happiness to all. So when you maximize your time, there are people who work in previous government. They got something to show because they did not mix their professional life with political life. There were a lot of you miss out on. You cannot be a professional person and align your professionalism with politics. It cannot work. I'll give you a classical example. There are older men and women in these offices, these ministries and agencies. I always give example of the foreign ministry, the foreign service. There are elderly men there. They have worked from top days up to all the administration. Why do you think they are still there? That's the question you as young people should be asking yourself. Why do you think they are still there? They are there from government in, government out. They stay maintained and they are elevated because they have the mindset that the professional life should be differentiated from the political life. When it is all for politics, you do away with your professionalism. You don't mix the two. They are not compatible. So you see, most of you young people, you lost jobs because you wear the party thing, you get party regalia. Everywhere you go, you want to show that you are partisan of this place. You are in a professional cycle, my young man. You are in a professional cycle, my young woman. Understand, you must be professional to the code, regardless of your political affiliation. Men by nature, we are all politicians. But when you sit there and you entrench yourself into politics, oh yes, our turn, our party. Now, some of you're all around the place crying, and we voted the people. Do you want something? How prepared are you? When you were all around the place doing the I will say and all the kind of thing, were you preparing yourself as well so that when the opportunity comes, you will take siege of it? Some of you did not do. You're all amount, oh yeah, you only all for the cash. Now, you've been successful, your party won the election. They're looking for people to put to places. You do not have the credential that is required for those places, but you demanding that they must put you somewhere because of your party. Who does that? That's insanity. You must go to the point why you are. That's why I said to my friends at the University of Liberia, you are at the macrocosm of society. So you must be creative. Show that level of responsibility that you are somebody in waiting to take over from the other people that are at hand of power. You hear people ask you how many you need 5 years experience on the job. You just graduated, but they're asking for 5 years experience. That's why I found our government, past and present. You need to create an enabling environment. These things were in full swing during the days wherein we open our eyes. We saw our brothers and sisters going for vacation and vacation jobs and all that kind of thing while school were being closed during the festive season and all kind of thing. Based on the association with that institution, because mind you, you must have developed a mindset, or this is the profession you want to take on when you graduate from high school, and this is the studies you want to actually. So that area of interest is where you're going to serve for your cadet period. So every year, let's say you in 10th grade, the first year you went for your internship, the second 11th grade, the third, the 12th grade year. Then upon graduation, while you are in college, you are in that place based on your performance. Based on your performance, and the people will say, okay, but this child been here for a long time and he has the experiences that I think is required. So the only thing he will be looking for now to have the paper, the credential to mess up with the practical, he have already gathered from here. So you see there. So if somebody asking for 3 years experience and then man just graduated from high school, he already has that experience. So he will only be looking for the documentation. So that's why the government, you need to create an enabling environment for the people to have opportunity to get connected. But in our country, it's the other way around. We feel so jaded. We kind of have that kind of fear in us when we see sharp people around us. I always say to my friends, in as much I see you doing something positive, no need of me envying you. I get closer to you to learn from you. I have something already within me. So adding what I will learn from you will give me an edge over you, because that's something I already got. I want to need a push. So when I get closer to you, I get all of the little 1 or 2. I'm a big partner. What are you doing? Do the things that are required. You see that? But some of you are so envious. You don't want to learn from people. You feel so big. You feel so entitled. That's entitlement killing a lot of you in Liberia. You feel so entitled. It is my right. They place here that we the ones started. They place here that us. Come on, my people. You need to be sensitive. With that being said, I will play you a few voices here, and then we will actually discuss some of the things. So our friends need to be very focused, yeah. Yes, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be as old as Methuselah. When you lack wisdom, even the younger boy or a younger girl can push sense into your head because you lack wisdom. So let's leave your comments on the live feed and we're going to read them out. This is the afternoon conversation. So let's listen to some past clips, listen for some clarity and a form of amusement, and look at our political landscape. Let's listen to this one. Let's listen to this one. Let me get this one. Let me get this one for you.
Our president, the example of our president, His Excellency Joseph Walker. This is why we are here. Let me be on record. This is the national actor of Republic of Liberia that is the nucleus of Liberia. No. Everything that Liberia needs to reflect on the historicity how Liberia was built, we have it here. But the central government has forgotten about it. And will continue while we will speak. Mercy. In the world will hear us. As we are gathered here today to light our candle, the celebration of Jesus Christ, who sacrificed. If you believe, you will believe. I know that we are missed people here. So I know there is God somewhere. Always. But your God is your God. As we are gathered here, let us be blessed.
President Joshua will be elected October 2029. Is that a magic? It's a reality. I mean, you travel along the road, you are a journalist. Getting you to interview with the people along the road. The Liberians are disappointed. But we can't
constantly threatening the states, constantly inciting people. I want to be clear. We will not tolerate those kind of citizens. Those that are constantly insulting the president. I want to be clear that after this, there will be no citizen in this country, and I defy you that will ever insult the president and think you will walk in the street. Constantly threatening the states, constantly inciting people. I want to be clear. We will not tolerate those kind of citizens. Those that are constantly insulting the president. I want to be clear that after this, there will be no citizen in this country, and I defy you that will ever insult the president and think you will walk in the street.
It's sad to say that I'm not a politician. I was brought on board by these people, and the people brought me because they wanted something.
We all ready to allow us to finish it.
Can't go to America. You totally somebody indicted, convicted, 760 years sentence. You proud taking of me. But I was supporting you. They are Holy Ghost.
You are a murderer. You are. You are on national TV ordering the torture and the slashing of the ears of the sitting president of the Republic of Liberia. You are a murderer. And you will have your day in court. And again, I thank President George Manneh Weah for cutting you loose because you were being protected by the powers that be. I thank my friend President Weah for cutting you loose, for not taking your calls.
On the comments, on the back, you want to be associated with criminal? The cause I will cause a 9 Liberia. Don't take me for a joke, eh? Now I want to be independent.
When you come after me, I'll come for you. You insult me, I'll come for you. Nonsense. The plan to attack Charlie, you're trying. Wow, finish with you.
This time, it's about life and death. Want to be very clear on you. Yes. We have responsibility for a cross-section of young people in this country who have labored and dedicated their heart and soul to the populous people revolution. We owe them. We owe them. We owe them clearly a protection of their effort. And you come and gamble, yeah, you must be mistaken. President of Liberia, you see the executive mansion? I will turn into a 5-star hotel. I don't need to be in such an elaborate infrastructure. It's been proven that you can run the executive mansion right out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. You can run the executive mansion or a small place. Why do we need a whole ministry of state just for presidential affairs? And it's a place where different people, all our look, even me now as CEO with more than 5,000 employees across Africa in multiple countries, I don't really have a special assistant. My laptop is it. I have different departments, different heads of different sections, and they work. Why do we need a president to have such elaborate infrastructure? The sooner we review this, the better the budget will begin to work for us and for the people. And if that doesn't happen, we're always going to have this situation. And that's why we're saying, ladies and gentlemen of the press, people in Radio Land, that we need to change the governance style of our country by changing the people we give power to. Thank you so much.
Before a woman will take you serious, it is either you have money or she have clearly seen that you have a bright future. My brother, listen to me. When you finally make money, if a woman does not have a clear past, avoid her. Go to party, go to nightclubs. You will think they are conducting Parents' Day simply because a lot of young girls of nowadays are currently spending their prime with sugar daddies and married men. Hey! Once they clock 30, they will start going to church, convincing you that they are a changed person, that you should forget about her past. Do not forget about her past as well. Run away from her, my brother. Her past contains multiple doggies shared among young boys, married men, and sugar daddies. You don't want to learn anything from the only son of his parents. Don't worry. Sabotage the camera. Before a woman will take you serious, it is either you have money or she have clearly seen that you have a bright future. My brother, listen to me. When you finally make money, if a woman does not have a clear past, avoid her. Go to party, go to nightclubs. You will think they are conducting Parents' Day simply because a lot of young girls of nowadays are currently spending their prime with sugar daddies and married men. Hey! Once they clock 30, they will start going to church, convincing you that they are a changed person, that you should forget about her past. Do not forget about her past as well. Run away from her, my brother. Her past contains multiple doggies shared among young boys, married men, and sugar daddies. You don't want to learn anything from the only son of his parents. Don't worry. Sabotage the camera.
You know, 200% people protest, and then what we did. I was the president. I believe in the rule of law. I believe in democracy. When the citizens are going to the street, we are allowed to protest because we are forced to be heard. Now, when we put outside the people, because they have the right to protest any day, and that's why we give them the right. You saw the last time in the early facility when they were protesting, you even saw Joseph Waka there. You understand? People there were giving the charge of the protest. But today we are protesting, they don't want to work. But seriously, do not be afraid. In our life, we saw the personal power. We saw the April 14. April 14, I was in the street. You know, April 14. Moving the people move. We're all there. We're all there. Simply because the government decision. So one day you have to speak. The police started wanting them to tell them. They saw recipes. And I hope the family will not take this against them. When they started harassing people walk to the street. When people down all the way to the mansion. You know what I repeat? So every government will be in the interest of the people. You know, if I wanted another April 14 or 1980, all the opposition they were going to help them, they were going to deal with them very well. The opposition, they are their opinion. You understand? Because they understand and leadership, they understand partnership. You know that not every family that work together. You got God, you got a woman, and the husband that has 6 children. See the children on the ground, and the children on the ground. But they look at each other. When the master says the government, they will have put people in front of you. You understand? That's why when it's so in politics, and not everybody will be for X. That's for the Y. But they live in the same house. That was pretty good, you know? So we gotta be friendly. This is our own thing. But don't ever put in your mind. And somebody will come to you and say, send a gift for the 7. I had a woman president, a baby who like 100 days. And that's half what I'm like. We told y'all, I say, I want to do the script. When I reach the Morovia, we reach all the way Shasta, because we do that project, you understand? Everybody looking for it. Just as I said that we build up the street and right, everybody looking for it, but it's still good. Look around, the cleanest stuff, even look at the bridge, right there, there will be some complex that the Chinese will come to face them. It's something that will come together. You listen, what everybody need that, simply because they give you something, so we'll get involved, we want to come back and say, I was the president that said no. They charge you for human rights, then discuss it. You cannot, Liberia will not come to the middle. Because Liberia is a partner to America, and Liberia is a partner to you. Thank you, everybody. That will come. As soon as you have people there, while you're talking, you will suspend what you say one do for later on. And later on, you will not there. So it's a sin. Nothing new. Nothing new. That is so anything new. They show anything new. The next election, where we will go and do the meeting. Everything they do, the 5%, the 90%, the 75%, the 11%, everything new. All the law will go to the police and the law, all of it look at this person. After somebody stay 12 years, in 12 years, and the same government by the state will come back there, they will build all the roads from South to Now, I'm not saying the road will be able to protect all most of the elements like around today, that will not be a code or something for themselves. Today, they use I won't say use, we allow them to vote for this element. And these are the things you see on radio and your government is Cuba, big government or big government. But they don't understand what they came from. When they came from the street, so when they came from refugee camp, we brought them, we came to understand that guy will be the best guy, vote for him. And these are the people that are on TV talking that of rubbish. Or discouraging. CDC is a party for you to the people because CDC brought yourself down to you.
Okay, we're going to digest this thing bit by bit. We've covered some parts of the speech or the sermon preached Sunday by former President Weah. He made mention of several things. Sometimes I tend to wonder, there are a lot of things that we can talk about. That's why I said politics in Liberia is more divisive than a tool for unity. Because most of our politicians, they are self-centered. Most of our politicians only think about themselves. And one of the things that politicians and their cohorts do in Liberia, I don't know about any other countries, but those countries that we tend to copy it after when it comes to democracy, the people believe in the country for which they serve. And the people are the ones who they as leaders serve, and though they don't see the people as servant to them, but in a clear tone, a leader is a servant. That's why most of you who have actually had the opportunity to study servant leadership, it tells you who a servant is. A leader will say we. Now let's listen. Let me give you some sense of reasoning. It's about logic and reasoning now. A leader will say we. A ruler will say I. These are things that you should be very cognizant of when somebody is actually speaking to you concerning leadership. That person will always mention themselves. At the end of the day, they fail to recognize the efforts of the people that made them to succeed in those areas. A leader will say we. A ruler will say I. Likewise, bossy people always about themselves. But a person who is at the helm of power, he sees himself as a servant. You are placed to serve the people and not the people serving you. Let's understand this. So we've listened to former President Weah. He spoke lengthily. He talks about all the things that we're now seeing today. They are all things, those things derived, those things derived from him or his leadership. Now, let us understand now. Rationally, you know that for those of you who did governance, right? Or you studied civics, you know that in government, you have continuity. If you are not bent for continuity, where we are today, when our leaders or previous leaders would have actually worked in line with plans, Liberia would have been far better than what it is today. So we say thanks to those leaders who saw the need, who actually originated some of the positive things that we now have that we can point to in our country. But notwithstanding, government is continuity. Where you stop is where the next man will begin from. That's why even in human rights, you are told that where someone's rights ends is where yours begin. Where your right ends is where someone own begins. So as a rational being, our politicians, they are so comical, all because they dwell on your low mentality. They carry you to the point of infusing emotional, bondage on you. They bring to you emotions. Then you, because of your low mentality, you tend to empathize or sympathize with the emotions that are brought to you. That's how a lot of things continue to happen in this country, because these people use the low IQ. We don't read between the lines. We don't do. And thanks to our friends who have now begun to expose some of these hating agendas of politicians, exposing their conversations and things. Because mind you, there were a lot of times when we never have fast checkers. When a person make a policy statement, then we tend to believe it because it is my party leader who has spoken. But come to think about it, we have people who are doing fast checking. My good friend and brother Sekweni and his team and others who are doing fast checking. They go after this information. When officials and people in society speak to the consciousness of the citizens, they go and fast check this information that are provided. So we saw that this helped our elections. It brought to play some of the misbelief and some of the belief that people had with information that was disseminated to them. That's how you saw our election being peaceful, and people consciously got to know the original things, and they were actually dwelling on facts and not fallacy. We listen to former President Weah, people, former person. This is not something that you should be talking. Because, mind you, when we're talking about leadership, glory be to God, and the leadership of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, when Liberia image was very dark outside there, it took courage, it took efforts to have restored the damaged image of Liberia in the international world. Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, she had her own shortcomings, but these were things that she did to put Liberia back on part. So coming in 2017, the CDC-led government, we understand that they came on a footing where we have all the foundation have already been created. So they were only taken from foundation level to window level or to roof level. But time consuming, time, whatever it was, it did not reach the roof level. There were things, if anyone tells you that there were not good things that the CDC-led government did for this country and these people, I will say vehemently, then you were not part of this country. There were a lot of good things the government of former president, we are dead. And I always say to people, and I will continue to say, for some of us who are schooled in communication, we know information dissemination is very important. There were a lot of things done by the previous government, but did the people know about it? There were a lot of things they initiated, but did the people know about it? So information is as important as food, water, shelter, and medication. So if you have an illness and you are not feeding yourself with the medication to heal that illness, for every time you renege in taking your medication, that's how the sickness got worse. So is the information dissemination of the CDC-led government. They were prioritizing combative communication than proactive communication, getting the people to know the workings of the government. Everyone was speaking during that time. You had party chairman speaking, you had youth chair speaking, you have information minister speaking, you have deputy there, all director. On one issue, you have about 20 to 25 people speaking on one thing. Misinformation, misguided information. Because mind you, if you have a synchronized form of information, what happens? The people get to adapt themselves to that form of information. I give you a classical example. When we were hit with the coronavirus, or that stuff on the Ebola, there were a lot of Liberians died or who have died from the virus because of disbelief, or because we have misinformation and disinformation taking center stage of the information dissemination. NFA will come and say, the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Health will come and say, then you have donor partners saying their own. So who to believe? That was a stir misinformation. So until we reach the point, say, look, our people are dying, and what can we do? I can still recall that day when some of us, we were at the Red Cross, working for the Red Cross, and President Sirleaf called a meeting with all of the state actors, government, NGOs, and all kind of things. So in that meeting, President Sirleaf made a plea, an open plea. What can we do? Our people are dying. What can we do? Then there came in, we had this dead body all over the place. You had the Red Cross. The Red Cross constitutionally is an auxiliary to the government. That's how the Red Cross, through its SG, Mr. Fire, but then came and said, okay, the Red Cross will take charge of the dead body management, will make sure to get the bodies from the streets and the communities and carry for befitting burial. People started taking their part to play into the fight against Ebola. Then we reached the point wherein we got to introduce the Red Cross and Red Crescent Society, introduce a communication strategy called the beneficiary communication. The beneficiary communication strategy is all about two-way information, wherein you have the communicator in between the aid provider and that of the beneficiaries. And we were privileged to have served in that capacity as senior radio officer, senior Bencom radio officer at the level of the Red Cross. So we were going out in the communities, going to towns and villages, counties to take the message to the people. And we realized that the people were disenchanted. The people had disbelief because they did not see themselves as part of the information. They did not see themselves as part of the fight against Ebola. So they put that level of resentment, and that took away lives. So when the Red Cross started to engage in that manner, we, the beneficiary communicators, we reached out. We had all of our BENCOM officers in the towns and villages and disseminating the information. The people, the children who are members of that community were also part of our team. That's why you see the Red Cross is always successful in her operations. Because she do not take people from HQ and carry them in the county and say that they will be working there. No, that's why Red Cross in every town and villages in this country, every lieutenant colonel of this country, she have her volunteers there, and she have a chapter there. So when there's something to be rolled out in that county, the chapter is already there to take siege of that matter. So it makes the people feel a part of the process of what the Red Cross is engaged with. That's how it is. So when we got engaged with the beneficial communication strategy, we got all of those things. We were taking information to the people from the aid provider and getting information from the beneficiaries. So we synchronized that form of information. Then we came to partners. There are other partners that were in the fight. We had other institutions, the UN and other people. So we said, look, it is about time that we synchronize our messaging. Red Cross, government, other NGOs, it's about time all of us come to the table and have one message sent out to the people. That's how we saw a speedy and drastic drop in the numbers of deaths. That's how Liberia came to the point to overcome Ebola within no time. And we were privileged to go Ghana in 2016 to tell the story of how Liberia overcame the Ebola crisis. Just a synchronized form of information. So if you are at the office and the other person, the director bringing misinformation to the employees, the manager or the CEO bringing misinformation to everybody bringing